What is going on, guys? My name is Toso, and today I'm here to talk about a surprise. I'm here to talk about Lies of P, the latest Souls-like game, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a very interesting feeling, to say the least. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, typically whenever you see a Souls-like copycat or duplicate or whatever you want to call them, sometimes it almost feels like they missed the mark. You know, it almost feels like they are being incredibly derivative of the source material, and their identity is it's just, you know, in tandem with that. With Lies of P, however, this is a very different feeling, because you can consider it a Souls-like duplicate, or again, whatever you want to call it, but it has its own identity. That and more. It has its own identity. It has its own unique story paths to take and whatnot, and its combat system is incredibly impressive. I don't like doing long videos or anything like that. You know, that's just not my style. I like to be in and out of your way. So I'm just gonna make this short and sweet. This, to me, is a perfect game. It's the weirdest. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds absolutely insane, but it's honestly true. I bought the game on Friday. I beat it on Tuesday. I think my account in the game, or the end game's time, was at like 27 hours. So I had a lot of practice, because, you know, I play Elden Ring pretty consistently and things like that. So like jumping into this wasn't necessarily unfamiliar, and learning the combat system was incredibly fun. You know, the one of the perks, or one of the unique things that comes with Lies of P, a lot of people talk about it, is, of course, you mix and matching weapons. And I, ironically, for my main 3 weapons, I primarily used 3 weapons. I did mix and match with some weapons, and I liked it, but I didn't stick with that as like a permanent choice, or like a main weapon kind of thing. My main weapon was actually the starter weapon, the rapier. It was ridiculously good, honestly. It was actually really good for a while, and then I ended up getting like a supply box. I gave it to Pulsanilla, and there was a dagger in there that had a 30% crit rate, if I'm not mistaken, and it was just tearing through bosses. So I started leading off with that, and then I ran into the Two Dragons sword, and man, it was almost as if I was meant to have it. Like, the way I was leveling up P, or Pinocchio, and I know I'm a little all over the place. I'm gonna jump into the story in a second. I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody that wants to, you know, play the game or whatever, but I found the Two Dragon sword, and with how I was leveling up my character, like, I was already building around the weapon, because it was a technique based weapon. So then when I got it and I learned it, I was fucking disgusting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was fucking disgusting. And of course, I was very invested in the game and invested in the story, that I did end up getting the best ending, which is why the thumbnail is what it is. So, about the story. You start off as P, Pinocchio. You're woken up by a blue fairy, who you'll come to know as Sophia, and the city is being overrun by puppets. It's a puppet craze, it's a puppet frenzy. They're literally killing people left and right. People are hiding out in their homes, leaving the city, and Geppetto is being seen to blame by this group of people, or this I guess affiliation known as stalkers. They're people, if I'm not mistaken, that go out to kill the puppets and things like that. They wear the animal masks, and they're blaming Geppetto for this whole puppet craze. And that's kind of how things end up starting. You know, Sophia needs you to come out and save the city, and the story just progresses from there. The story to me was absolutely fantastic. You know, Lies of P did something that I'm not gonna say I've been begging Souls games to do, but I'm gonna be honest. And I know this might trigger some people, but here's the honest truth. Okay, listen close. I cannot be the only person that gets a little exhausted having to watch several videos to get the story for one game. I've had to do that with Dark Souls 3. I've had to do that with Bloodborne, and I still, to an extent, am doing that with Elden Ring. These games are, now, it's not to say it's a bad thing. They're just filled with so much that it sometimes takes a lot of time to really dissect everything that's in the game, especially with something as big as Elden Ring. There's so much to talk about, from item descriptions to bosses themselves. So that's why you have to end up fucking playing Minesweeper and jumping over hurdles to find the story. But it was refreshing for Lies of P to know that the story you didn't have to watch one video on it. It's literally there. It's in the game. The story is relatively linear and is very easy to dissect. Now granted, it's not to say there's no layers that comes with it. Of course there's layers that comes with the game, but the layers themselves are explained in the game. So I'm like, that it felt good. I'm not gonna lie to you, it felt good. This game to me was just, it's so impressive, man. It was really a breath of fresh air. It's always a breath of fresh air to play a new Souls game, but this was even more interesting because it didn't come from Software. It didn't come from Miyazaki. It came from Round 8. It came from a whole different company. And for them to not only literally knock it out of the park, but do things that I preferred over a Souls-like game is incredibly impressive. One of the things that I think they pride themselves on, of course, is the defensive system in the game. That, of course, goes as far as the weapon choice that you pick, as well as your Legion arm, because P does have a robotic arm that can be swapped out for all kinds of arms, but also you getting your perfect parries down. I will be honest, if anybody wants to play Lies of P, if you are not good at parrying, you need to learn how to get good at parrying. Because the bosses in Lies of P are no fucking joke. You will try to roll away, they will roll catch you every single time you try to roll or run away. You just need to learn how to perfect parry. I got so good at it, and with what the game offers you, they have certain abilities and incentives that you can get for your character to where, like, if you get a perfect parry, you'll automatically stagger or I think break the stance of the enemy. I had that equipped, which, and of course that meant I had to get even better at parrying, and oh my god, bro. It is the most satisfying thing for a boss to be running towards you. You perfect parry them. They get stands broken, and you hit them with a Fable Art or a charge attack. It was so refreshing playing this game. And my preference choice for the Legion arm was the Falcon Eyes, which of course is the fucking gun. What I did to some of those bosses was the most disrespectful things in the world. I remember I got to this one boss. I'm not gonna say who. I got to this one boss towards the end of the game. And I think it was like my third attempt fighting him, and I had a sliver of health, he had a sliver of health, he was coming towards me, I dodged away, shot him in the face, and ended the fight. I can't do that with other games, bro. I can only do that with Lies of P. It was the most satisfying feeling in the world. I was like, there's no way I killed you with this gun, bro. I literally shot him in the face. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, like, Lies of P is just really good. Story-wise is really good. I really like a lot of the characters, the NPCs, their storylines. I love the combat system so much. I think I'm going to do a second playthrough sometime this week or this weekend, honestly. It's just, maybe, I'll probably end up doing it with a different weapon, because I don't think I really grasped all of the weapon to handle assembles. The mix and matching of the game. I haven't really explored that so in depth, because I found the 2 Dragon Sword and I just didn't put it down after that, you know. So I really want to go back and try that out, and of course, you know, get different endings. I don't know if I want to though, because I don't feel like, I can't spoil that, but some of the endings, one of the endings is bad, and I don't feel like playing bad. I don't want to be a bad person. But honestly, I heavily encourage anybody that's into Souls games or interested in you know, buying Lies of P. It's a great pickup. It's a great pickup. Don't expect to jump into the game and be very good, because you'll be humbled to the ground. And as for it being your very first Souls game, I would not recommend that. Honestly, I think there are other easier Souls games you can get into that are a little more, the gateway is just a lot easier to cross than something like Lies of P. Lies of P, you kind of have to have a little knowledge of how the game plays. Like, Otherwise, you're gonna have a pretty frustrating time, and you're 9 times out of 10 not gonna finish the game. But that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I have more things coming. I got other things to do right now that are taking a little more of my time and my energy, so I do apologize for that. If anything has been inconsistent, I've just been very busy with a lot of things, but I believe it'll be dying down very soon, and of course I'll talk about that a lot more in depth when it's over. But thank you guys once again for watching my videos, and I'll see you guys next time.